We've all seen it. Whether it's in a picture or standing on the beach, we all stand in awe of Michigan's icon. And thankfully, it's there. Before the Mackinac Bridge, traffic was a major issue, even as far back as the 1920s. Something needed to be done.
And so at that time, the Highway Commissioner of Michigan called out to all engineers and to propose a permanent crossing in the Straits Mackinac. And he himself proposed a floating tunnel across the Straits Mackinac. And then an engineer out of New York proposed a series of causeways and bridges.
Charles E. Fowler was his name. His proposal, massive. Here's how it would have been laid out. Starting in St. Ignace, across the Straits to the south end of Mackinac Island. Then from Mackinac to Round Island. Then from Round over to Bois Blanc. All the way down the center of the island, splitting the Twin and Thompson Lakes. Back into Lake Huron, landing in Grass Bay just east of Sheboygan. Just about a 25-mile combination of bridges and causeways.
If they would have built that series of causeways and bridges, they would have ended up with a suspension bridge between Mackinac Island and St. Ignace, because the water is just like the Straits Mackinac. There's a deep channel. It's about 300 feet deep.
In these graphics, the bold lines would have been the causeways. 2 suspension bridges would have needed to be built as well.
For the most part, they probably could have built a causeway from Sheboygan to Bois Blanc Island. They would have had to build a bridge for the shipping channel portion of that.
Then, the problem of spanning the waters between Mackinac and Round Islands.
But they would have had to build a bridge with the ability to either open it or allow shipping traffic between Round Island and Mackinac Island as well.
The proposal did get some traction. To this day, you can see survey markers on Bois Blanc.
There's a survey line on Bois Blanc of that alignment for the road that would cut across Bois Blanc.
This plan was drawn up almost 100 years ago. It's hard to conceptualize what the Straits would look like if the plan had happened. Think about it. Cars on Mackinac Island?
The island, as it had been known for generations before, would have just disappeared. It would have become a different place. It would have been a little stop off this bridge, this massive bridge system.
Right around 80 people live on Bois Blanc year-round. Imagine a major traffic system running through the beauty of this place.
I think Boblo would have seen significant development because of it, and the whole nature of it. To just all of a sudden, these picturesque, remote islands in the Straits would have simply been these little supports for this bridge system.
Envision how the skyline would have looked, standing in St. Ignace, Mackinac City, and Sheboygan. Thankfully, it never happened, but it's still kind of neat to think about.
It is a fascinating proposal, and it's interesting, and as you sometimes stand on the island, look out across to Round Island and Boblo, you could see that, well, it looks kind of close, and but fortunately they decided that the bridge as we know it today was the more effective, cost-effective, and practical way to cross the Straits.
Yep, we'll just stick with the mighty Mac.
There's always winners and losers, but the whole area would have been a lot different had that taken place, and yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen as well.
For 9 and 10 News, I'm Corey Adkins.